How's it going?
Good.
So, let me put into the chat the slides link. And it is also on the page. It's on the event page. Okay. Let's see if this will let me sign in. Let's see. There we go. Dang it. I'm good to use this. All right, so let's go ahead and I will share my screen. You guys all in on the, nope, I didn't share the slides so you could get in, so let me fix that. Anyone with the link can edit. Sorry about that, fixed. Let's try this one more time. Link to presentation slides. Okay, Carla's in. Cody, you able to get in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, got Cody. And then just, Emily, are you able to get in?
Yeah, it's opening up right now.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay, I'm in.
All right. So just for fun, I have a video. Play.
Big fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Big fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Big fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
Okay, and that's enough of that. Were you guys able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You know, if you're gonna like learn something new, you should learn something new, and it should feel magical. Like, why am I going through all this effort if I'm just gonna be doing the same stuff that I could do with paper? And so, whoops, come on, there we go. You know, we want to teach like it's 2016. So what does that mean to you to teach like it's 2016? So will you go ahead and insert a slide and tell me? I'm going to put this out on Twitter, see if anybody else wants to do it. All right. Okay. Okay. Guys ready? So
Yes.
Carla says, use technology to your advantage. Good. If you can use pen and paper to do your activities, that's right. I always like to say this one. If it's a paper task, use paper. I mean, your technology is not going to work right, so better make it worth it. For if it doesn't work right, you should be like ruined, because it was better. All right, Cody, to infuse technology in your lessons to engage students more, just like the video about unicorns. Right, yeah, having a hook video definitely helps. Okay, and Lena, using technology and emphasis on student collaboration. So guys, yeah, I totally agree, you know, using technology, we prepare kids for their future. And I think that's really important for us to remember is that, you know, things that worked well for you or served you well doesn't mean that's the skill of the future. What are skills of the future? So I'm going to put that one in there. When we talk about, we're preparing kids for their future. What do they need that maybe we didn't need, but we need to make sure is important? So go ahead, add a slide. Cool. What are skills of the future? You can add more than one slide or you can do bullets. Okay, so that one looks like just a blank slide. Okay, Carla, using technology to facilitate the learning experience, take notes with a computer-safe trees. It's more than just taking notes. Like, what DOK level is taking notes?
1.
Maybe, probably not. I mean, if you're just copying, you're not even, you know, memorizing anything. You're just copying. It can be DOK too if you ask students to synthesize and really process what's important and what's not important. But that, you know, that's not how I lectured when I was teaching math. I mean, of course, I learned how to teach math from math teachers that I had. So it's not just stopping using paper. If you really think about and when you go get a job, when you go work out in the workforce, what qualities, what skills are employers looking for? You know, and what's different about, you know, let's think 10 years from now, you know, when some of our students, when you start teaching, when they'll start really getting out into the workforce, what do they really need to be able to do that probably you and I didn't need to be able to do? You know, I needed to know how to use a VCR. They didn't. I like this, being able to find information. That's hugely important. We all have Google in our pocket, right?
Or Bing.
Don't use that. I worked for Bing for a year. If I literally would take me twice as long to do my work if I used Bing instead of Google. Holy cow, that stuff is garbage. Okay, but either way, right? We all have search engines in our pocket. And, you know, teach like it exists. And the fact that Google exists, that should change how you teach. Do things differently, right? Exactly. You know, should the students be sitting around waiting for you?
No.
Have you ever felt like you were being held hostage? I'm even gonna put that in a slide. You know, the teacher's not ready, they're talking to somebody at the door, or they're getting their stuff together, or they're answering somebody's question that you just don't care about, or they're just talking slow and repeating themselves over and over again. Have you ever had somebody do that? Because I've done that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying anything I'm not guilty of. And so if you post your directions online, like I post them for you guys never sit around and wait for me, right?
Mm-mm.
You get to work. This is a personal pet peeve of mine. People don't seem to understand how email works. If you have a large group of people, you do not reply with thanks to the whole stinking group. It's like, hello. And then all the time I get people who send me emails with no subject line, or in their head they knew what they were thinking about, so they started writing a message and there's no context. They don't sign the email. They don't start it with a nice greeting. It's like, it's a problem. Young people and even old people don't know how to be professional through digital means. Put a comment in on that one.
Online etiquette.
Oh my gosh, right? It's so easy to be snarky when you're not in person, right?
I've actually worked at a job one time where they had us do like an online etiquette course.
Right? Because that's a needed skill. People need to know how to represent. Okay, being able to use technology to find information, good. Being able to complete online worksheets. Oh, let's move past online worksheets. I would say the skill is more than being able to regurgitate information, which is really what a worksheet's asking people to do, right? Can an adult be okay in life if they do not know their times tables? And I'm not suggesting that they don't learn times tables. What do you think?
Yeah, they can be okay.
I mean, I literally can just ask my phone, or I have a calculator with me all the time. So, you know, how much class time? We used to, like, drill it into them. Like, you got to memorize your times tables. You got to memorize your times tables. And again,
Yeah.
I still think it's a good idea to know your times tables. But if that's not really something you're awesome at, how long do we want to beat the kid over the head and make him feel dumb about it? Because I'll tell you, I stayed back in the 4th grade. One reason is I really struggled learning my times tables, and I ended up getting a math degree and teaching math. And I think you'll find that a lot of people who are mathematicians, they're more methodical, critical thinkers, and they're just not good at arithmetic because it's more memorization, you know? There's a misnomer. People think because they can't do multiplication tables fast that they're bad at math, and that's not true. And I've got a research article I can share with you on that if you would like. We got Chris Wing in here. Changing who's asking the questions. I love that. Right? I think one of these shifts is the answer is always the student does it.
So what do you think about standardized testing on math and how they can't use calculators?
They can use calculators on the standardized test. Pretty sure it has a calculator built into there. And you know what? The tail wags the dog. It's cheap to test DOK1 and DOK2. And so if you look at most of the quote-unquote Common Core test, we let Pearson make this instead of asking real people who are knowledgeable in the field to make it. And it's cheap and easy to test that. I mean, like, what do we value? We should be valuing, what do we value? And does the test that? So I would argue that we should be valuing the ability to collaborate, to invent things, to be creative, entrepreneurial. So most jobs in the future, you're not going to end up working the kind of jobs that we have today. You know, you go to McDonald's, some of these places, you order on a computer screen. You know, even the job of being the cashier, like, the more they raise minimum wage, the more attractive it is to have a robot do it. cars drive themselves. The company Uber has already ordered self-driving cars. So you're going to order a taxi and there's not going to be a driver. And so, you know, this idea that you're going to work someplace for 50 years and get a gold watch, that's already been long gone. Do any of you feel like you're going to for sure work for the same company? I mean, you want to go into teaching, so it's a little bit different. But I think most people don't feel like that. Most people in the future are going to be freelancers and entrepreneurs. They're going to own their own business. You're going to be owning your own business and being a freelancer. What skills do you need? I'll give you one. Website building and social media. You own your own business. Do you not have to have a Twitter account and a website?
Definitely.
Definitely. No question. No question. You have to have those things. Does our curriculum ask kids to do that? So go ahead and give me a slide. If students are going to be freelancers and own their own business, what skills do they need? Okay, right, business management skills, collaboration skills. I don't know. If you go look up any website, you know, article that talks about, you know, what employers are looking for, every single one says team player. Every single one, right? They can collaborate, they can work with others. If you can't, you know, just forget it. I mean, that's so important. Professional and tech etiquette, exactly. They need to, you know, I don't know any employer that wants to teach their employees how to use technology, let alone how to use it appropriately. Right? Drive and dedication, basic skills. You know, I think we could point to a lot of people who, like Steve Jobs or whatever, who didn't go to college and were successful. I don't know that that's the model we want to say to kids. But at the same time, is the future have a lot more opportunities for people who don't fit inside of the box, don't want to necessarily go to college or go the traditional route or the traditional universities? Do you feel like that they are going to be able to perpetuate what they do? And I think they're going to have to change or die.
Well, that's what Common Core's for, to prepare them for school or for a career straight out of high school.
It should. You know, and when you really look at the Common Core of what it's asking kids to do, you know, is we want them to think for themselves. I mean, traditionally, school has asked kids to be compliant and to do what we say, which is compliant. Memorize this stuff, and we're going to tell you what you need to know. But kids now, they know how to look stuff up. And they know how to find stuff we didn't know. Like all the time you're going to get a kid's like, hey, Miss Keeler, did you know? Or look at what I'm doing. Because they found it on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. And so how are you going to value that? And let that drive what happens in the classroom. And so I suggested that we need to have kids who are able to make choices and decisions, which do we usually let kids make choices in their education? So I would encourage you to think about that.
I feel like it's important to be a risk taker.
Yes.
Because even though sometimes you may fail, but being a risk taker may be more rewarding. So
hugely more rewarding. And so part of it is if we want to value risk taking, you can't necessarily put the grade on the end product, because if you take a risk, sometimes you fail. But through the failure process, even though you failed, you really learned a lot. And so if you can demonstrate, like for my class, If at the end you guys, like, we did our final project, but it was a disaster. We tried this and like the whole thing exploded and it was awful. I'll still like give you a high five. If you can explain to me what you learned out of that process, that to me is better than it being successful. You know? You got to create an environment makes it okay to do risk taking. Add that slide. So this particular workshop is on Google Slides are magical. So you notice how I use Google Slides. One of the things, if you want to go up to the up next to the plus button, and there's a little drop downy arrow, you'll notice that I edited all of the layouts, and I very intentionally thought about what order I was going to put those in and what I wanted them to do, because I designed my slides to be collaborative and interactive. Let me do that one. This is actually something I started doing. It's like I go around and I teach teachers literally globally. I was just in Australia and New Zealand, and you couldn't imagine the look on their face when I said, these are my slides, go ahead and insert a slide, and they were editing my slides. Like, who lets people edit their slides for a presentation? Bad things can happen, right? And a couple of times, some people just totally changed the theme, deleted something. I mean, like, yep, some bad things happen. And you know what I did? I'm like, I thought that was awesome because we're doing this together. And so I asked them, I'm presenting some information when I was in Kentucky this week, and I'm just asking them, okay, I was doing advanced Google. I'm like, you give me a tip. And so I had them all insert. And so right away, I had a whole bunch of Google tips that were right in there. But then I got everybody's name. I know, they'll put their own little quirky personality on it. Usually what I'll do is I'll ask them to insert a slide with their picture and a little fact about themselves, and I'll greet them. So where normally, when I'm there for one day, it's hard to not be kind of direct instruction teacher centered just because I don't have the ability to really build relationships with people. So I don't like that because that's not how I teach. But using slides, I'm able to really interact and get their ideas, and it's an easy way for them to be like, so they make something and they just share it by inserting a slide. So, to have them actively involved, it's not just sitting and watching like, okay, so here's what we're going to do, and I kind of show you, and then they make it and they put either a screenshot or a link back to what they were doing, and then we're all able to see each other's work at the same time. And so then I have people go in and insert comments and give feedback immediately on the spot. Like, it's so cool. And that would have been just so hard and nearly impossible without using Google Slides. So what I'm going to show you today is a few things. I'm going to have you make your own Google Slides, and I'm going to show you just a bunch of tips and tricks about them that you may or may not know. All right, ready? All right, so if you will go to slides.google.com. And you can actually just go to Google Drive and make slides from there. But slides.google.com. Blank. Just name them sample slides or something. And then make sure these make it into your weekly notes. You guys all know how to do, like, insert, drive, slides.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just open the app if we have it?
On your device?
Yeah.
You have a computer?
Well, I'm on my tablet.
Okay, some of the things you can kind of do on your tablet, but some of it you cannot. The tablet apps are not full functioning. They're awesome. Like, I love the Slides app. What's so cool about the Slides app, I think the coolest thing about the Slides app is that I can, hold on, I'm opening up the Slides app. Thinking about it. Look for something that I can edit. So when I have the Slides app open, I just hit the little plus icon down at the bottom so I can add a slide.
Yeah.
And then at the top, I hit the plus icon, and it gives me things that I can add into it. And one of them is image, and I do it from camera. So I can, this is going to be funny. I can take a selfie of myself. Come on, I can get the camera right. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Right, so I can just take a picture right into the slides. So I think what's really cool about this is if we have students use Google Slides instead of paper, instead of a text document. I know the answer is always a spreadsheet, but I'm really in love with slides because now they can really literally do their work from anywhere. Like even if they just jot it down on paper and then just took a picture with their device and then just like stuck it in there. They're doing art, they can just take their camera from their phone and just stick it from different angles so they can turn in their not digital work digitally, like crazy easy, just boop right onto the slides app. So like whatever you do, they can take screenshots and dump it onto a slide if it was digital. If it's not digital, they can just take a picture and dump it onto a slide. And the advantage to that is it's a lot easier to give feedback as a teacher, right? How do you give kids, really specific feedback on their art project? And yeah, you can, but you're not like looking at specific things. So if they take like a bunch of pictures from a bunch of angles and get it close up, then I can insert a comment and I can be like, okay, like I'm not an art teacher, but like your stipple technique is not quite right, da da da, right? I leave them a very specific comment. Well, what makes this better than just paper or just putting a note in my grade book is that student gets that comment right away, right? And they can reply back. They just reply back to that comment, and we can have a back and forth conversation where I can actually teach them and help them to get better. If you put that comment really anywhere else where it's not a conversation, it's kind of helpful. But if you can't have the two-way where you can clarify and you make sure that kid has learned it, let me flip this around. If you make sure that kid has learned it, it's better. It's better than anything else that you're doing. So I love slides because it's so easy. Like everyone kind of gets how to make and use slides. So it's, in terms of difficulty level, it's not up there, but that ability to turn things in easy, give feedback back and forth, and then it's so easy to share it with others, to share with other students or whatever. If I wanted to share student work, I just start the slides presentation and throw it up on the screens, right? So I love those. All those things I love about slides.
I'm sorry. Oh, speaking of that, in one of the history classes I observe, they actually probably every Wednesday they use like Google Slides, and what they do is, as soon as they're done with their little like a assignment type of thing, it actually goes up into the big screen, and then the teacher looks at it in front of everyone and kind of gives feedback that way too. So I thought that was cool.
I know, isn't that? I think that's one of the biggest advantages is being able to do it quickly. Now, before I had stuff like this, I would have little quarter sheets of paper all around the room, and I'd have kids like write out a math problem on their quarter sheet, and I'd collect them forward, and I'd start sticking them under the document camera, and they wouldn't have their name on it. I'd have them put their name on the back so we could see. But that's just like, that takes time. That takes a lot of time to pass out and whatever, and then there's really no permanent record of it. Whereas with slides, I can have everybody do it on the same slides presentation, and I just jump from slide to slide, and I get to keep it, and we can learn from each other, which is cool. And I eliminate all the passing out and collecting. That's a lot of instructional minutes. And what can you do now? Like, that's a big deal. Like, I can now do something else. Speaking of, while I'm still not on screen share, look what I got. You guys seen Google?
Yeah.
So I have 500 of them. So I'm trying to decide what to do with them. So I think I'm going to do at least one workshop, or at least let you guys try it. So install the cardboard apps. That's a totally different conversation. I would be cool if I could do slides on my Google Cardboard, though. Okay, I'm going to screen share now. That was like a total who cares. See, I'm holding you hostage.
I was working at a school one time, and they did a Google workshop for the students, and they had those little things you just showed right now.
A Google Cardboard? What did they do with them?
Huh?
What did they do with them?
They were explaining to the students how to use it. I don't remember exactly like how the whole thing, but I remember them taking a thing out like that, and like they were presenting like this, how like they connected the laptop to like the smartboard, and they were having like a Google Hangout like conference with all the students, and
And they
Like
were using Google Cardboard for that?
but no, like he was just like talking about how like what it was and
He's just showing different technology. So this is
yeah.
my problem with Google Cardboard is it's fun. Like you put it in there, it's like whoa. You know, you stick your phone in the back, and there's certain apps, and like there are YouTube videos. You can watch YouTube videos in this and like see it in a 360.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool, but how does that make learning better? So I'm looking at all these websites and blog posts by teachers. I've only found one where I thought, oh, that makes learning better. Like, that's awesome. Mostly it's just like the kids are so excited. Excited about what? Like,
I think with we were talking. Sorry, I'm going off topic. We were talking about this in a previous workshop about breaking down the four walls. We met in the library, and we were talking about using Google Cardboard. And I believe Katie, one of my group members, she was like, "Well, for my English assignment, what I would probably do is, you know how they talk about the setting and all that. Why don't we go on Google Cardboard to the setting, so it kind of creates the student into the actual setting, and say, for example, in history, maybe you could go in different battlefields. But I'm not sure how that would students would get from
yeah,
it.
and
Maybe
it's
just
like
be more
you're
exciting.
really kind of immersed in there where you kind of feel like you're there. So you got to like create a learning objective where that matters instead of it being a gimmick. Yeah, because the first few times kids will be really engaged. They're going to be really engaged and excited the first few times you do anything. And oh wait, I get to get out of my seat? Oh, this is awesome. You know, I find it really sad when I hear kids say, because they'll do this where it's looking at a static picture, although they're just looking at it in 3D, and the teacher's just telling them facts about Machu Picchu. And the kid says, this is my best day of school ever. Seriously, your best day of school ever is putting a box on your face? That's just, to me, a sad commentary that we are not giving kids enough active, authentic things to do, that this is that exciting. I mean, it's fun, but I think we can do better at creating authentic, engaging experiences that are meaningful to kids at school, so that when this comes along, it's like, that was cool, but it's not their best day ever. This should not be their best day ever. You know, you talk to a lot of adults, you know, if you really get them to admit it, they're like, they didn't really like school, it was boring. And you know, like, again, you design that. It's not boring. Learning's not boring. You guys like to learn, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, the trick is to realize people don't learn or like it like you like it. And so how do you switch that around? So back to Google Slides. I think one of the ways is to really let Google Slides be a communication tool and a collaboration tool, and that's going to be something that makes it really easy for them to connect outside of their four walls. And I love that you guys are keep jumping in. Please, 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 please keep doing that. Okay, so first thing, if you will, click the blue share button. And I think you guys know this, but I'm going to go through it anyway. What I always do is I click the blue share button, then I click on Get Shareable Link. And then what you'll notice is that it says anyone at Fresno State with the link can view it. So when I click on the little arrow, it changes it to anyone with the link can edit, can comment, can view, but it's all people at Fresno State, which is fine if I'm just doing stuff with kids in my class. But are you guys ever logged in on your Gmail? And then some of the stuff you can't access, right? Like you can't get to Google Classroom if you're in your Gmail. So I just try to like keep it simple, and I go to More. And on More, I go to anyone with the link, and I switch it to Can Edit. And so now anyone can edit these slides, just like that's what I did on my other one. So I was able to put it out on Twitter and allow nobody wanted to, but allow other people to jump in and just kind of chat with that. Okay, and then you can put people's email addresses in specifically. Right. So make sure that your slides or anyone with the link can edit, not just anyone at Fresno State. And then if you will, we'll get in screen sharing. Control L, highlight the URL, Control C, copy. Control L, highlight the URL, Control C, copy. Paste your slides into my slides. You know, paste the link to your slides into my slides.
Do you want us to have anything on the slides right now?
No, it should be blank. And see,
Okay.
isn't that another thing that makes Google magical? Is that you share it before you do anything to it. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, that alone is mind-blowing. What you do is you have kids turn it in, they make it, they turn it in, and then they work on it. All right, I'm going to move you down here, Cody.
Okie dokie.
Put you at the bottom. But see, I mean, think about how cool that is. You're doing your work, and notice you're not in the right spot. I can just help fix it for you. And we're not in the same place. I mean, I might as well be in Australia right now. It wouldn't matter, right? Other than it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be like dead tired. I like tried so hard. The time zone just really messed me up. It was. You're an entire day ahead. Nuts. All right. So, but that should give us, so I should be able to, like, click on this link. You have to put a space bar after it to kind of make it a hyperlink.
A space.
All right, so I got into Cody's, so that's good. Make sure you guys name it something. I don't care what you name it. Okay. All right, good. You know, actually, I'm going to leave you guys the slides open so it's easy for me to just jump down to different tabs. So that's one trick that I would give you as a teacher is to open up a bunch of students' work in multiple tabs, and then that way you can just kind of like scroll through and give students feedback while they're working on it. So I just want to leave you this thought, or not leave you, just give you this thought. You know, when students turn something in, they're like, I'm done, I've turned it in, and then you're like, oh, it's good, could use some help, let me tell you. Do they want to hear that? No.
No.
Why? Why do they not want to hear your feedback?
Because they don't want to go back and fix it.
No. Why do they not want to go back and fix it?
They didn't feel the task was engaging enough to actually.
It was.
Worth. Yeah.
It was awesome. I love this. I interviewed city council members, and I found out all this information, and the city council is putting my project up on the city website. Boom, I'm done, turning it in. Why do they not want to fix it? Because they're done, right? Mentally, in your head, you're like, I'm done with this. I'm done. You know, it's just like when your mom comes and you're like, I cleaned my room. And she's like, under the bed, those clothes. You're like, oh. Like, I just want to be done with this. And so the trick is if, you know, they're not, and when you're telling the kid to clean their room, you're like, clothes under the bed, they're just, they're not even listening to you. They're not even listening because they don't want to hear it. And so when you give kids feedback after they're done, yeah, they might read it, maybe, but they don't internalize it as much as they would as if you gave them that exact same feedback while they're working on it. While they're working on it, they're into it. You're helping them get to the end process. I mean, just psychologically, when you're done, you're done. And so opening up, just like I did here with you guys, right, I assigned something, you guys have gotten nothing done on it, and I just can rotate through the slides and watch you work, and then I can insert and give you comments while you're doing that. You guys will make some corrections right now, right? Mm-hmm. How about if I made corrections after this and thought, can you guys go back tomorrow and fix it? Would you want to do that? Heck no, no way. No matter how good of a student you are, you just don't, like this. I've committed an hour today, Kayla. All right, so, speaking of which, I'm talking too much. Oh, here's my sample slides right here. Okay, so what I want you to do first is I want you to click on a slide, and it says layout. Click on layout in the toolbar. You notice it has 11 layouts. So you can switch, do this for me, switch the layouts just so you can see how easy it is to switch the layout on a slide. Okay, but the layouts are boring, right? All right, so watch me do this. And then I'm do it, and then you do it. So go ahead and watch me. I'm going to go to View Master, and then it shows me all the layouts. Now this Master affects all the layout slides. So if on the top one, on the master, I change the font to permanent marker, and I make it pink, and I make this one down here, Mountains of Christmas, then you'll notice on every single layout slide, it's pink. You see how the font styles changed on every single layout?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that one up at the top, you can't delete it, but anything you do to the master goes on every single layout. So then the other thing that I do is, now you cannot delete a layout that you've used. I'm going to just delete that slide. View master. I'm going to delete all the layouts except the first one. So I don't know if you know this trick where you hold down the shift key. So I click on the second layout, I hold down the shift key, and I hit delete, so I only have one layout. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to View, Master, and you're going to delete out all the layouts so you only have one layout. Go. This is really easy because there's only 4 of you. View, Master. And it's totally fine, you have a theme. Okay. View Master. Okay, so you're trying to delete the layouts. You can't delete a layout that you've used.
Okay.
So Carla, I'm noticing that your sample slide is the, there we go, now you can do it. Let's see. View, master.
Yeah, all it lets me do on the app is change the theme.
Yeah, okay, so don't worry about it. Just kind of watch and then try it later. Because you see, Annalisa, I do this every time I edit the theme or the layouts, right? So one of my favorite tricks is I just, just so, just watch. I delete everything on that. Whoops. Oh, that was the master slide. Bad idea. I delete. Come here.
I'm trying to hold the shift down, but.
What am I doing? Apparently, I don't know how to use my computer. Let's try this again. Delete. These ones are mine. Why won't it let me delete them? Delete that. View, master. Okay, if one of your themes you've used, it won't let you delete it if it's selected. So Lisa, what I do is I just delete it all out. So the only layout that I have is blank, and I rename it to blank slide, or something like that, or use this one. So that way when the students click to add a slide, there's only one option instead of 11. Like 11 is way too many.
Okay.
So just one of them is just to get rid of, I mean, you just don't need that many layouts. Just get rid of the extra ones at a bare minimum, but you got to do it from the computer. So don't stress. Don't worry about it. You can't do it right now. Just push buttons and try and make the thing explode. Try something else. Figure out something about the app and ask me a question if you want to. Okay. All right, so Cody, you still have like 11. You've changed the theme, but you still have 11 layouts. So what you'll notice is that you're using like the section to, what is it? View, master. Okay. So you're clicking on that first layout, Cody, but you used it. So you can't delete that layout. So click on the one under it. Yeah. No. Now hold down shift and click on the last one.
Okay. And press.
And hit delete.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to use that shortcut with shift, but I think it's working for me.
It's not working?
Yeah, because you said hold down shift, right?
Okay, right. So I'm holding down. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, hold on the second one. And I hold down shift and I click on the last one, so they're all selected, and I hit delete.
Got it.
Okay, try it. I got it to work. You might have to hit backspace if you're not on a Mac.
Okay. Got it. And then press. Okay. Did I do it? I think I did. Okay.
Okay, there you did it. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. And just for fun, just for kicks and giggles, click on the View Master, click on the Master, and then change the font type and color just to be funny. No, I normally don't. I normally just leave it. Okay, right? We good? Okay, so then what I want to teach you is I'm going to go back to the View Master, and let's add the plus button to add a new layout. So anything that's on the View Master is locked down. So what I want to do is I want to create a graphic organizer. So I'm a math teacher, so I'm going to click on the image. Are you guys watching me?
Yes.
I'm going to click on the image thing, insert an image, and I go to search and I type in graph paper. So you search for something, or you have a picture somewhere that you're going to use, and I like to switch it to clip art. So you see where it says any type?
Yeah.
You have to search it first, and then you can switch to clip art. Ooh, okay, that didn't work. It looked better the first way. I just want to point out that you can do clip art. So anyway, I get my graph paper, and I stick my graph paper into the layout. Okay, so now what you'll notice is that when I do this, I've got blank slide, I've got my custom layout that I can't move or edit or type on that graph paper, right? I'm going to go back to View Master. I'm going to edit this layout. I want to put in a text box, plot points on the graph. Now, if I put this text box, you see this? See when I click on the text box that has 4 options? That top text box option is locked down. That text is not going anywhere. They cannot edit it, except in the Slide Master. The placeholders gives a place for them to do text. So you guys saw on the other slides where it gave you a place to put your name?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the placeholders as opposed to text box. So I did text box. So watch what happens. So do you see where it says plot points? I cannot select it. I can't type on it. I can't move it like I'm trying to. If it's on the Slide Master, it is locked down. So that's a really good tip for you to do, is to go into the View Master, go View Master, delete all the layouts, and then you create layouts that are graphic organizers for students to design their slides on, I also like to rename it. So I click on Rename, Graph Paper. Okay, now if you want them to, so I'm going to go to the text box, and title is big, subtitle is small, body text is kind of more plain. So I might just put in here a place for them to list their points. So I'm going to get a text box, plot points on the graph, list points below, but then below I have a placeholder. You with me?
Yes.
So I come over here, so you'll notice now the list points below and the plot points on the graph are locked down, but then it says click here to add text. So I can do 0, 2, 9, this is an awful font. But if I go back to the View Master and I go back to the Master, I can change it from Mountains of Christmas to Luckiest Guy. And you notice it changed it globally on every single slide. So if you're going to set a font, set it in the Slide Master. Don't change the font on the slide, because if you change your mind, it'll change it on all the slides when you change your mind if you edit it from the master. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to View Master. you're going to hit the plus button to add a new layout, and you're going to design any kind of quick graphic organizer that you want for that slide. Go. And so, Annalisa, you can't do that because you can't edit the slide master from the. Why don't you just at least insert a selfie onto one of your slides just for fun? Just like wave, hello.
Okay.
Okay. While they're doing that, I'm going to show you some drawing techniques that I still do from the computer and not from the iPad. Sorry. The doing stuff from your tablet, you can do so many amazing things. You just do different things.
Yeah.
So trying to think. Let me come back over here, and I'm going to get a blank slide. One of the things that I like to do is I'll draw like a circle, and then I want it to be a certain. Let's say I want to make a Venn diagram. So I go to the paint can and I make it blue. Copy paste. And I go to the paint can and I make it yellow. This is not a very good Venn diagram. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It should have. I should be able to see the overlap. Do you know what a Venn diagram is?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the paint can. And do you see where it says custom?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, sorry, can't do this on the iPad, so you're just watching. This slider on the right-hand side is transparency, so I can make it more transparent.
Yeah.
So now the blue is more transparent. I'm going to go to the yellow, go to custom, and on the right, make that one more transparent. You see how to do it?
Yeah.
And so now they overlap. So now I get a Venn diagram. So that that tool is pretty cool. And then if I insert a picture,
I was in a classroom one time and I saw the teacher was making the students make Venn diagrams on, and they were like just filling it in with information. But I observed the kids learning how to make them.
okay, so you already knew that trick.
Yeah.
All right. So this is my goal, Annalisa, is to teach you something. How about if you double-click on it, you insert a picture and you double-click, you can crop. So I'm going to cut out the extra on the sides. Enter.
I didn't know that one.
Okay, so I'm going to Control Z undo so I can do this again. So what I did is I double-clicked on the picture, or you use the, see where it says crop image up in the very top?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I double-click or I click crop image, do you see these black bars show up?
Yeah.
And also the blue bars. So the blue bars will resize, but the black ones will crop. So you can actually, right in Google Slides, have like a little photo editor.
Yeah.
So then I crop it, like, let's just cut off the top of my head just for fun. And I push enter, and it's cropped. But you can get even crazier is if you do a little drop, and it has to be selected. Notice if I don't click on the picture that the picture tools are gone.
Yeah.
I click on the picture, and then all these choices come up. And then right next to the crop is a little drop-down arrow. And so I can go to shapes. So say I go to moon, and it crops it into the shape. So then you can just have fun with pictures.
Yeah.
And then it says image options. So if you want to, you can make it your pictures more transparent. You can color them, yellow.
Yeah.
Just for fun, Okay, how'd you guys do? So Cody, I'm going to check this out. You do not have, Cody, you don't have a template slide, a graphic organizer slide. Notice I can move your graph paper.
Yes.
Okay, so you're making this on the slide. I need you to make it in the slide master. So you got to go view master and hit the plus button.
Okay.
And you design everything on the view master, because if it's on the view master, it's locked down and the kids can't mess with it.
Okay.
You're going to like that one. Okay. Carla. All right. Carla's got a Venn diagram going. Good, good. Okay, so Carla, one of the things I want you to do is go back to View Master, and do you see at the top of the layouts it says rename? Because right now they say custom layout 2. Name it something meaningful. Just got a credit card alert. Something that looks, uh-oh. All right, so David apparently is joining, but he's just watching. So let me see if I can, even though we're like done, get the Hangout link. Um, all right. And there we go. Yay, Venn diagram. Good, right? So when you click down, the kids can see the title. So you'll notice that when I do it, that I name it in capital letters participant slide, and I try to plan out if I'm going to have interactivity, I want the first slide to be the participant slide because most people are going to pick the first one, right? So if anyone's going to interact with your slides, you want it to be the first one. Okay. So I'm going to, Cody, your background is blue. I'm going to click on background up in the toolbar. Okay. I'm going to change your background to white because it seems like the blue is in your way. And then I'm going to delete out the text boxes so that you can control it. Okay. So make the text boxes where you want them to be. Make the layouts, you know, the sample text where you want it to be. And you'll notice that it says title slide, so you want to rename that.
I renamed it, but it's not popping up. It says rename master.
Title slide. So view master, and then it says rename right in the gray box. You see it?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Carla's all set. Yay! Selfie by Annalisa. Which, by the way, am I just butchering how to pronounce your name?
Yeah.
All right, say it for me.
It's Annalilia.
Oh, I am butchering it badly. I apologize.
It's okay.
I'm going to do better. Okay, so Cody, this is really good. So you'll notice on slide 2, I can move one of the graphs around, and the other one I cannot.
Okay.
So that's the big difference. Like if you design a template, design it on the slide master. Don't design it on the slides.
So the student can't edit it.
So the student can't edit it, which honestly, it's a little bit stressful when you accidentally mess up the template, right?
Right.
So it's not to. I hate controlling students. I think it's better to let learning be a little bit messy and for them to learn what they need to do. But then other times, you know, that's not the lesson I'm trying to give them. And it's actually better to have a graphic organizer where the background is locked. Nobody wants to move that around. So that's helpful. Okay, so guys, it's been an hour, so here's my question. Do you want to be done, or would you like me to show you one more technique of how I make the manipulatives for drag and drop on the sides and try and do it in 15 to 20 minutes? It's okay to say you want to be done.
I actually have to go.
Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate it regardless. Just go ahead and go. And
Okay.
then you can watch the end of the video for how to do it later if you want to.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to attempt to just add this to the end of the video, so if you guys need to go, go ahead and go.
Okay, thank
Don't
you.
feel
Thank
bad.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the View Master, and I'm going to create a new layout, and I want it to be blank. And so let's say I'm going to just keep this simple. I'm pretending like I'm teaching kindergarten. Okay, so I want kids to sort shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a circle. Now when you draw a circle, my tip is to hold down the shift key because it'll make a perfect circle. So in this circle, I'm going to make a text box. I'm going to say that I want bears in here. And then I'm going to just copy that and paste it. So I can put cats in here. So it's a very lame graphic organizer, just keeping it simple for myself. So then I add this layout. What you'll notice that is I need some bears and cats. So what I do is I go to Insert Image, and I go to the search on the end, and I type in bears. But I don't want any type. I want clip art. So if I switch it to clip art, I get fun things that kids like. So I'm going to make some clip art bears. And I hold down the shift key and resize it because it's too big. So one of the tricks is when you draw stuff, hold down the shift key. It like does all kinds of magical things when you hold down the shift key. So I'm going to get this bear like that. And then what I want to do is I want to copy, paste, 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 paste. So I get a whole bunch of bears, right? But I want them to be in a little stack. So what I want to do is notice how I can lasso, or I get my cursor away from the bears and I draw it around the bears so that I can then go up to the Arrange menu. And this is what I think is super cool, is you have all these ways to arrange stuff so it looks nice. You can align things or center it or distribute it. So I want to align it in the center, horizontally. Align in the center. So it takes the whole group, lines them up, leave them selected. I go back to Arrange. I'm going to align vertically, but in the middle. So if I align it in the center and I align it in the middle, then they become a little chunk. So then the student just drags bears, and it's like you have a whole pile of them. Control Z. I actually like to take this pile, and I like to put it where I call off canvas. Let me delete these extra slides. So off canvas, so you go view, maybe 50%, you can see that you have the actual slide, then you have all this extra area on the side. I like to put my manipulatives to the side so that students can drag the bear onto the slide. So then I need cats, so I go Insert Image, Search, Cat, any type, no, I want clip art. Okay, that looks like a good one. I'm going to I don't like that one because it doesn't have a transparent background. It's got a white background. So I'm going to delete the cat, by cat. I'm going to get a new one. I like Scratch Cat. Scratch Cat. Hold down the shift key to resize. Hold down the shift key to resize. Resize it smaller. And I usually actually do this off canvas to begin with. So I'm going to put the cat off canvas. Copy, paste, 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 paste. All right, I get a whole bunch of them. I get my mouse so that I can select. So I go away from the cats, and then I hold down and I make a rectangle around the cats to select all of the cats. And then I go to the arrange menu and I arrange horizontally in the center and I arrange vertically in the middle. So it makes a pile of cats. And I like to move it just to the edge. So it's just like right there on the edge. So then the students view to fit. There we go. Then the students can just pull from the side. If you had text boxes or dots, whatever it was, like if I was for the math one, I would have dots for them to plot points so they don't have to draw the circles. Just different things that they can just drag from a pile of them. So it just makes manipulatives that way. All right, that's what I got. Thanks, guys. Bye. Oh, David, you made it. David, can I help you with any of them? Oh, and Daisy's here. Cool. So I don't need to jump off I don't need to jump off right now if you've got some things that you'd like me to go over. So hopefully if you want to, you can go back and watch the video again and slower and pause it and practice some of those things. Making those piles of stuff is really cool. So David, I know you want to do social science. So let me just really quick demonstrate, like super way too fast, show you like what you might want to do. Let me go back to screen share. I'm going to go to View Master. I'm going to make a new layout. I'm going to delete out the text box. I'm going to go to the image. I'm going to search for United States. And I want it to be clip art. So that I'm really just trying to find like a map of the US that's got blank boxes. What? There we go, right? So I got all the states. So my graphic organizer is now the states. And so the kids can actually have a bunch of them. So then what I want to do is to make my graph on the side is I type in like Nevada. Right? So I just make the text boxes for the kids. Text box, California, and I'm putting them off to the side. Texas, and this is DOK level 1 stuff, but whatever. You can think of more creative, fun ways. So then the kid, they make their own copy, they have it, they open this, then their job, all they have to do is drag the labels, because it can be really time consuming to make digital stuff from scratch. Like if they had to type all the text boxes, that would take longer. So you just help them out by letting them drag it. So if there's certain things you want them to label, you can have those ready to go that they can just drag it onto there. So, yep, that was just a thought. Daisy, it's totally fine if you want to be a fan of Bing, but I will kick your booty on a search head-to-head with me using Google. I'm glad you like it. All right, you guys, have a good night. Oh, Bing versus Google, we could have a whole conversation. All right, David, you asked me a question if I was going to be here on Tuesday, and I was going to, but then I ended up having to go to this conference, so I won't. But I'm really looking for some specific times that I'm going to be around and where I can do a whole bunch of workshops and chunk it up. So if you could send me some days and times that you would be available, I'll really try hard to make it accommodate your schedule. If you want to send me an email, okay? Okay, bye.